Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. As you can see right next to me, I have a special guest. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi there, I'm David. I'm her boyfriend. I've been with her for 4 years and 11 months.
We're gonna get
5 years.
We're gonna get more into that as this video progresses. But today, we're gonna share with you guys how we met. Because honestly, a lot of people, like in our personal lives, don't know, and that's why we're going to make this video. Because I think it's kind of interesting and maybe not the typical way people meet these days. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So David, how did we meet?
Okay, so we both worked at the library in our hometown. Well, my hometown. She lived in the suburbs of our hometown. And then this is when we were really young. I started working there when I was like 16 or 17.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when you started working there.
I was about 15, I believe.
Yeah, so I was working there as kind of, just a part-time job in high school to have some money, which I used to pay for a motorcycle. And then it was probably about a year and a half into me working there. I was looking around. I didn't see anybody else interested in it. And then, so the interesting thing is the building has 5 floors. And on the first floor, there's a department. And then if you look kind of up into the middle, there's a mezzanine, like a little balcony that's only accessible from the second floor. And that's where I worked. I worked on the second floor. And that little balcony underneath area was our stuff. So I went down there to do some stuff. And I was looking over the mezzanine, just kind of slacking off. And then and I saw her, and I was like, oh my God, who is that? Now, we had a mutual friend named, I'm not going to name him, but we had a mutual friend, and he worked down in her department. At least I thought it was her department. So I asked around, and then I asked him, and he knew exactly who she was. So I had him, slyly go ask some questions, and then it wasn't until we were heading out of town, me and my mom, to go see my grandparents out in a different state, that I was like, you know what? I'm going to find her Instagram and DM her. So I asked my mutual friend for her Instagram. He didn't know. And then I searched her name, and it actually popped up like first or second.
Can I just say, the initiative, you were like really trying to find me.
Yeah. Like I knew I wanted to talk to her and, get to know her. So I did that. And the way I think she popped up second is actually because your cousin went to my high school and we were following each other on there. So I knew her cousin on there, and then Instagram connected all the dots and helped me find you.
Oh my God.
On there. So I DM'd her, and then we kind of went from there.
Yeah, so that's his side of how things went. Yeah, so in terms of my side of how everything went, so you kind of left this out, but like he originally started in my department, so I worked in the basement. It was called shelf of the library, while he worked in lit, which was, what floor is that?
Second.
The second floor. So I first saw him like down in like my department where, I just said I first worked, and I remember seeing him when he was new, and I was like, he's kind of cute. But that was pretty much it. And then I started asking like my cousin a little bit more about him, and she was telling me, oh, like, he's nice. That's pretty much what I got out of that. And then I left it at that. Why did I not see him after that? That was the only time I saw him, that one day in lit. So anyways, or not in lit, in shelf. I can't right now. And so then after that, I started seeing him ever so often whenever I would go deliver a truck. That's where all the books are kept on, to the different departments. And so I'm kind of annoying, but I would like purposely like ask to go to lit so that I could like see him. But it's so weird because like I consider myself shy, and you consider yourself shy too, right?
Mostly, yeah.
So like instead of us just talking to each other, like whenever we would see each other, we wouldn't. But at the same time, like I didn't even know he was even interested in me, like I was interested in him. It's so weird. So anyways, his mutual friend worked in my department, like he said, and his friend would like ask questions sometimes that kind of like alluded to David, but I didn't know if that was the case. So then We're going on with life. And I'm like in my senior year of high school. I think it was math class. And that's when I received that DM he was talking about. And I was very confused because, like I said, we've been seeing each other, and I'm like, how did he find my Instagram? But remember, I'm kind of interested in him already, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I responded. So anyway, we went from there, talking through the DMs on Instagram, and then we started to talk a lot more off of Instagram. What were we talking? Was it Kick?
Text and then Kick and
Text
then
and
Snapchat.
Kick. It was like all these different platforms. And then we started to hang out, which was awesome.
Sounds like what, the first time?
Yeah.
So the first time we hung out, so I was 18 senior year, you were 18 senior year, right?
Depends.
Yeah, because it was about June, July when
Yeah.
we had started dating. We went out to a movie. I don't even remember what movie it was. I was too busy trying to impress you.
You don't need to do that. I don't remember either.
Yeah,
That's
after that
weird.
we went and got, we went to this place called
Giuseppe's?
It was some
Giuseppe's, yeah.
some pizza restaurant that was only okay, and we ended up seeing one of her classmates, of course, like previous classmates from like a month prior.
Oh gosh.
And then.
But
yeah,
for
it was kinda
me,
funny.
he rolls up. Did I get dropped off by my parents?
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did at 18 years old, but that's another story.
I had a
Anyways,
motorcycle, which was.
he had a motorcycle and he'd pull up. And mind you, I've seen him ride it like at our job. And I was like, oh, he's so cute. But then seeing him like pull up at the movie theater, I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Pulling my helmet off and like having my hair just like
Yeah,
flattened.
it was so cute.
Because this is how I used to wear my hair all the time back then. And it was a
Literally.
lot longer, so the poof would go real high.
Yeah.
And it was just completely smashed down after it was hilarious.
Yeah, so it was really nice and we had a great time, and honestly kind of went from there. We started hanging out pretty often. We would actually hang out during our breaks at work.
Yep.
We would go to like different floors and stuff and just hang out there, and we almost got caught once, but yeah, that's another story.
Okay, so we had dated on and off from July until about September. And then by this point, she had gone off to college about 2 hours away. I decided to stay in my hometown because I gotten a big scholarship from my college, hometown college, and stayed there. I got bored, and I reached out to her because I was talking, to a bunch of different people, and none of it was really panning out. And I still liked her, so I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, want to be friends? Maybe start dating again, on and off. And then had I visited you by that point, like once or twice?
No, not yet. So let me preface this by saying the reason why we kind of mutually decided the relationship wasn't going to work is because of the distance. We didn't know if that would work out since I was like 2.5 hours away. So that's kind of why it ended. But yeah, when he reached back out to me, we had to think again, is it going to work out with all this distance? And so we decided to. And I think it was either that next weekend, because, anniversary is September 25th.
Yep.
It was either that next weekend, it was like October, when he like first visited me, and then we kind of like decided, oh yeah, this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't know, the end of this month in September, ironically, will be 5 years together.
Yeah.
Which
5
is
years.
insane to think
It's a
about.
long time.
It is a long time.
I remember
Is
the
it-
first time coming to visit you. It's funny. So I had a sports bike. So it's like most people call them crotch rockets. So imagine getting on that for 2 hours with a really heavy, really full backpack, and then I had another backpack that I strapped down to my rear seat, and it was just like the most uncomfortable ride out there. But
Can we just
had to
talk
make it
about
work.
dedication though? I really appreciate that. Literally, like every weekend, on weekend, literally throughout pretty much my whole college years until you got a car.
every time I could ride, yep.
Like, oh my gosh, that's it's just.
And there were some times that I'd have to ride out there in the rain or ride back in the rain.
You didn't have to, but you decided to because you wanted to see me, which I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate.
100%.
So yeah, so we started dating, talking, whatever you want to call it, technically in person. While he did message me like through the DMs, we knew of each other like in real life. So I think that's kind of cool because I feel like, especially in our today's generation, all that stuff, people tend to meet online instead of like in person. So
And I definitely would have came up to you in person had I worked in your department. But also another limitation that I was worried about was time. I didn't know whether or not she was going to be around for long because her department, a lot of people would come in, they'd work for 3 months and they'd quit. So, I wanted to make sure I had a chance to talk to her. And that particular weekend, I was going out of state for my grandparents, and we were going to be gone for like a week. So I was worried I'd come back and never see her again. So I decided to DM her and kind of go from there.
Definitely worked out because I think I stopped working there, August, right before I went to college.
Yeah.
So we may never have met.
Pretty quickly
like
after.
ever in terms of like met talking.
It was maybe like 2 or 3 months
Yeah.
that you worked there? Yeah,
That's
like
insane.
2.5. So if I didn't take my chance when I had it, it would have been
That's insane.
yeah, almost.
Now does your
past
friend credit linking us up?
I don't know if he does.
Interesting.
I think he's a pretty humble guy.
That's good.
So I think he's just happy he can help.
Got what?
I said I think he's just happy he can help.
Yeah, I think so too. So that's how we met, guys. And I'm excited to do more videos with you. Like, we have a lot of videos planned. Well, I kind of have videos planned. He's just going to be in them because he supports me. But yeah, so stay tuned for those videos. As always, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.